to the Friday forecast. The first real one of the year. Oh, I'm excited, Jimbo. We're here. I know we've said this like 10 million times already, but we're here. We did the Friday forecast for the last 2 months, going over the divisions. Who did we predict? What did we think, each division was going to look like, how everything was going to go? Now we're in the meat of it. We're in the true Friday forecast where we're going to predict all the games for the NFL week. Ooh, and I burped it. I'm so excited. I can't control my gases. That's how excited I am, Jimbo. I'm excited. I can't help it. I'm so sorry. I'm excited. I'm excited. How are you, Jimbo?
Pretty good now. To kind of go on to like what you were just talking about, like past 2 months was like the appetizer, and now we have like a really good steak dinner coming out to eat, and just can't wait to tear into that son of a bitch.
I know. It's kind of like being Deshaun Watson at a massage parlor. The last 2 months have just been the nice handling the calves in the back, and now we're at the part of the massage where the towel comes off. It's a wonderful time to be alive and to be a football fan.
You did promise his team a happy ending to the season.
Oh, I'm getting canceled for that one. Anyway. He does inappropriate things with women. Anyway, here we are. We had the Thursday game. Now, full disclosure, we are recording this before the Thursday game. So things came up, things happened. Sorry. So we actually don't know what the outcome of that game was.
Yes.
But we do know who we picked. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at who we picked and what the games we have on store for here. Now, as you can already see by the cute little icons, Jimbo picked the Ravens. I picked the Chiefs. If you listen to our main show on Wednesday, that's when we're going to make our Thursday night picks, is on the Wednesday show, on the main show. Here, though, on Friday forecast, either Jimbo is 1-0 or I'm 1-0, and or Jimbo's 0-1 or I'm 0-1. One way or the other, one of those things have happened.
Or maybe both these teams know about the overtime rules and they still tied.
You can't tie in the NFL anymore, I don't think. Can you?
Well, I don't know. Now you got me thinking now, because because it just happened like last year, the year before. It was like very, very recently.
I thought they changed the rules so that you can't tie anymore, but maybe, I don't know. I think it's very hard to tie in the NFL.
Yeah,
that's all I know. But if they tie, I swear to Christ, that is not the way to start with the NFL season. That is not the way to do this. But anyway, later on tonight, which will be live streaming us reacting and calling the play. We're not live streaming the game. That's one thing you guys got to understand. That you will not be seeing the game on here. I don't know how many times I got to go over this with you people. We are not live streaming the actual game. There's plenty of other places where you can go and watch that. This ain't it. We're not getting the channel shut down for that. But we will be doing play-by-play and reactions to this game in Brazil, baby. I don't know why. I almost sounded like Italian when I did that. I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, the Green Bay Packers will be taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, who have decided to not wear a lick of green while they're down there, forcing the Packers instead to wear green, even though it's an Eagles home game. The Packers will be wearing green because the Eagles are like, we're not getting shot. Like Ricky Pearsall. Oh, yeah, we never mentioned on Wednesday. I was what I wanted to talk about was Ricky Pearsall getting shot.
Yeah.
I knew there was something I had forgotten all the way back then. I knew it. Anyway, you got the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Brazil, the first Friday night opening game in the NFL, I think in history. There might have been something back in the 30s. I'm not exactly 100% sure. But certainly the first in modern history. Jimbo, I'm fairly sure where you're going to go with this game, but Packers and Eagles, who you got?
I'm actually going with the Packers.
Wow!
I think the fact that the Packers players have not said anything about not wanting to go down there or this whole trip not wanting to go down there. And they are completely healthy. I don't think there's one player hurt or that's on the injury list. And then you got the Eagles who have multiple players saying they don't understand why they're going down there because of the dangers and the crime and all that stuff.
That's true.
I think that's going to be a very big distraction. Um, and I think that's going to be the main reason why they're going to lose.
You got Darius
this
Slay
game.
already saying, like, none of us want to be here. Nobody wants to go down there. Who the hell wants to be in Brazil? I think we had mentioned this a couple times. Yeah, that's not a great attitude to have.
Yeah, and the last thing I saw was our the quarterback that I want to be our second string quarterback is the one leading the mantra to say, "Hey guys, don't let that bother you. Let's just focus on the game." Like, not good when you have a third string player being the one to step up to say, "Let's focus on the game." You know, so yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game, but I just don't think Philly's gonna pull it out.
All right. Wow. So you really did shock me with that. I'm going with the Packers as well for a lot of the same reasons that you said. I think there's just the Eagles are seeing it kind of as a distraction instead of focusing on a game. Like even with other people, like we've seen it happen with some of the European games and some of the Mexico City games and things like that, where you have the teams just, even if they don't like it and don't want to go over there, which a lot of them don't. A lot of them hate those England trips, and now they got Germany. I think Spain is next year. You got this one. In the years past, you've had the Mexico City trips and stuff like that. So you've had them go. Nobody's really happy about the international trips.
Yeah.
But even then, you'll have them say, like, we're focused on the game. This is what we're going here to do a job. This is our job. We're not sightseeing. We're not doing anything like that. We're here for the game. We're here to do that. Da 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 da. Like, at least that's a professional answer. If what Darius Slay is saying is true,
And
not
it's
only
not
is it
just
him, but it's a lot of the team. Like you said, you have your backup and third string quarterback saying, like, "Hey guys, let's focus. Let's just go out there and have a good time. Let's focus on the game. Let's be game." It's like that should not be coming from backups. That should be coming from Jalen Hurts and the leaders on the defense and Saquon Barkley, people like that. It shouldn't be coming from backups.
Yeah.
So along with that, and again, whether the Packers feel the same way or not, I would imagine they do. You haven't heard that come out of Green Bay, and Green Bay has a harder trip because they have to fly out of Green Bay to a bigger airport to then fly to Brazil, because there's not a big enough airport near Green Bay for them to fly internationally. So it's even a bigger headache for Green Bay, but yet you've not heard that come out of the Green Bay locker room. So, yeah, I'll go with the Packers. I'll give you that one. All right. So, yeah, wow, we both picking the Packers over the Eagles. I'm surprised. I'm actually pretty
I
surprised.
think it's the first time we ever both agreed to that the Eagles were going to lose.
Pick against the Eagles. Yeah, that's a rarity for an Eagles fan. That's definitely a rarity. Next game up, which actually I think has a sneaky chance to be good. Steelers and Falcons. The Falcons have done a lot in this offseason, especially with their defense. You got Kirko Chains down there now. And he's got Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts. He's got weapons to work with. The Steelers have a great defense.
Yeah.
They have a great defense. So let's see. I think this game's going to be interesting. I don't know if the Steelers are going to score too many points. Maybe you take the under on this game. I don't even know what it is, but maybe that's what you do. But Jimbo, Steelers Falcons, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think this game could, like you said, could either be 9-6 or this game could potentially be a 23-30 game because yes, the Steelers have the defense. The Falcons upgraded their defense. Plus, like you said, they have some good weapons on offense with adding Kirk Cousins. They finally have a quarterback. I just wonder if this is going to be one of those. Does the Falcons wear the Steelers' defense down because the Steelers' offense cannot move the ball with Russell Wilson there? I tend to think that's going to happen more so than anything else. So that's why I'm going to go with the Falcons. And the only injury note I saw was Kyle Pitts tweaked his hamstring or something like that last week, but he should be good to go.
Uh, I too will be picking the Falcons. Again, I think the Steelers' defense is good. I think they'll hold the Falcons. Again, we don't know how Kirk Cousins is going to be down there in his first game. A lot of questions in Atlanta with that, but again, they do have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. Going to be a challenge against that Steelers defense.
Yeah.
But that Steelers offense is garbage. It's so bad. And unless they've been okey-doking us all training camp and preseason long, unless Russell Wilson somehow, I don't even know, unless Pete Carroll has now become the offensive coordinator for the Steelers instead of Arthur Smith. No, like the Steelers defense is going to win them some games this year just by themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to be one of them, though. It's on the road. Atlanta does get loud. They're going to be excited to start the Kirk Cousins era. This just feels like it's got Atlanta all over it. You know, that the home field advantage they have in the Butthole Dome is pretty good. So I'm with you on that one. I'm going with the Falcons as well over the Steelers. Which then brings us to our next game. The Arizona Cardinals making a trip all the way up to Orchard Park to play the Orchard Park Buffalo Bills. This one seems easy to me, but we'll see what Jimbo thinks. Jimbo, Cardinals, Bills, who you got?
I'm going with the Cardinals. I think Murray and Harrison. Well, here, hold on. DeMar Hamlin is their starting safety. Okay, that was announced today. That's how bad the defense is going to be this year. Is that they have a special teamers starting at safety. So, and it's just Josh Allen. Like, put a spy on him so he can't run around, and you have no wide receivers. Okay, run game. So, like, this is going to be one of those. I think it's going to be a shitty game, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be a fun game to watch. But I think Murray and Marvin Harrison are going to have a decent game. But I won't be watching this game probably because, like I said, I think it's going to be a boring game.
All right, now here's the thing. Like, we both agree that we don't think the Bills are going to be great this year, that maybe the window's closed. They may not make the playoffs. A lot of people seem to have that kind of feeling about them as well. The Cardinals still have a lot to prove to me. Kyler Murray still has a lot to prove to me. Now, I know they got Marvin Harrison Jr. I know, that's going to be big. Can that work? But again, Kyler Murray still has a lot to prove to a lot of people. The Cardinals team almost seems like an unknown to me still. And the Bills, I don't think they're going to be one of the better teams in the AFC this year. I think they are a middle-of-the-road team when it comes to the AFC. But I still feel like they should beat the Cardinals. I still it still feels like that to me. So I'm going to go with the Bills. I think the Bills, they're at home, starting the season. Everybody's fresh. I know what you're talking about having, DeMar Hamlin be your starting quarterback, and that's not, exactly the best when you have people who are mostly known as special teams guys or nickelbacks that come in on third downs or things like that, becoming your starters. But as much as I might think that Josh Allen is slightly overrated, he's still a great quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'm disagreeing with you on this one. I'm going with the Bills. Next game, again, this is another game that could be sneaky good.
Yeah.
That could be really entertaining. Titans made a lot of moves in the last 2 weeks, especially on their defense, trading and signing, getting more people in there. Who did? Cortland Sutton, I think, was one of the ones they signed. The free,
Yeah.
They got, so like the Titans been making moves, and of course the Bears. Caleb Williams, is the big thing. Obviously, number 1 overall pick. Rome Odunze, though, that's a huge pickup. They picked up a lot. They've done a lot in free agency, trying to shore up that defense, get the offensive weapons for Caleb Williams to work, which I'm sure Justin Fields is like, now you do that shit. Titans, Bears, Soldier Field. Jimbo, who you got?
I agree with you. I think it's going to be one of those. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to go with Tennessee, though, because even though you said that they've done a lot of moves, they seem like not a lot of people are talking about them, whereas the Bears, granted, probably because of Caleb Williams being the number 1 overall draft pick, seems like they're being talked a lot about. They're just on Hard Knocks. But I think Will Levis is going to take the next step slightly. I'm not saying he's going to be like a C.J. Stroud type season, but I think he's going to mature a little bit, and I think it's going to start with this game.
Jimbo going with mayonnaise. Will Levis.
That was a stupid ass commercial that he was in.
Love that, dude. I love. Did you see the Dan Campbell one?
Dude, I love that.
Applebee's. That's a great one.
Cover your mouth.
You got to cover your mouth, otherwise they'll know what you'll steal your order. It was so great. That's such a good one. But I'll tell you what, I'm going with the Bears on this one. They're playing at Soldier Field. No, you know what? Audible. Omaha! I'm changing it.
Take it off.
No, we're going Titans. Even though they are playing at Soldier Field. Even though they are, Caleb Williams, first time at home, first time doing all this stuff. Like, again, I was leaning Bears. I really was leaning Bears. But, again, the last 2 weeks, the Titans have made some great defensive moves. This is going to be Caleb's first look at full speed NFL defense.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to make some amazing plays. We saw that in the preseason, and I'm willing to eat my words on that because I was like, oh, I don't know. He could be a bust. He seems like he might be a bust. He's not going to be a bust. Caleb Williams is not going to be a bust. He's going to make plays. But it's the stuff between those incredible plays that he makes where he still is a rookie. And you did see that in the preseason as well. Now you're going to have a team open up their defensive playbook and really come after him, really show him looks he's never seen before. First game, again, I might eat my words on this. And again, I think he will make an incredible play or two in this game. No doubt. And I think him and Roma Dunze are going to be a great pair there in Chicago for years to come. But for this one, I'm going to go with the Titans defense. And it's not so much Will Levis. It's kind of more the Titans defense. I'm going to go with the Titans on this one. So, yeah, me and you got the Titans on that one. I think the Titans have made enough moves on defense to go ahead and do that. So,
okay.
That'll be the Titans' next game. Patriots Bengals. Jimbo, who you got and why? Let's get through this one quick.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Patriots. Tom Brady back there with Randy Moss.
You said I'm not even listening to you. I'm just putting it where I know it's going. Don't even
listen. I would have said Jamar Chase sit out another week. Don't take the
get a little bit more rest, baby. Get a little bit more rest. That's fine. Save up for the Chiefs. Yeah.
This will be over by kickoff.
Listen. Everybody wanted the Patriots to fall and be bad for so long. Well, they're here. This is what you get. Yeah. It just so happened the Chiefs took their place. So you're still all miserable and whiny bastards. But this is not going to be a good season for the Patriots. And listen, if I'm a Patriots fan who's 40 years old, or even 35. Like, if I've been watching the Patriots since, I was a teenager, young teen or something like that, even that, I'm willing to take this. Yeah. For the fact that I watched 6 Super Bowls. I watched my team play in 10 of them. Like, this is the price you got to pay. This is the piper. Eventually, listen, the piper always, you got to pay the piper eventually. Here it is.
Yeah.
So it's sad. It's unfortunate, but... It's Bengals, let's be honest. This one is going to be good. I am excited for this one. I really would like to watch this game, but we're going to be watching another game, so sorry about it. But this is going to be a good one. I'm going to be keeping eyes on this one, tabs on this one. Texans versus Colts. Jimbo, who you got and why?
I'm gonna go with the Texans. Um, I don't think we're gonna see a step back for this team overall. I think C.J. Stroud is gonna be better than he was last year. Um, I may even say the defense may be a little bit better than they were last year. And what the other reason why too is the Colts. You know, we don't know if Richardson could stay healthy. Can he? Can he stay healthy during this whole game? He only played 4 or 5 games last year before he got hurt. So I think that's going to be the biggest question mark for that team is can Richardson stay healthy? And if he does, they should be a good team. But I still think that it's the Texans game to win.
Tekkens.
Texans.
That was a great video game back in the day. I'm going with the Colts, and I'm gonna because listen, this was the same question people had about Tua when he had those concussions a couple of years ago, and they were like, can he stay? Can he protect himself? Can he stay healthy? Is he able to go ahead and actually do that? Because that's the biggest question. If he could do that, maybe something happens. He learned to do it. He took judo and he learned how to fall and he did all of that stuff and learned to protect himself. Anthony Richardson played with absolute raw abandon last year.
Yeah.
Got hurt because of it. He needs, and part of me believes that part of his rehab process from the injuries that he had was also learning how to protect himself, learning how to play with passion, but smartly. Like you have to balance that. I think and we're going to see if he did or not. I'm hoping he did. Because I'm picking them, so I want them to win. They're in Indianapolis. The Colts are a good team. I know the Texans are a good team as well. Part of me almost feels like they did overachieve a little bit last year. And I'm not saying C.J. Stroud's going to have a sophomore slump because they have such good weapons. You got Tank Dell, Nico Collins, but that Texans defense is worrisome. So with that, I will go ahead. I'm picking the Colts here. It just feels right, Jimbo. It just feels right.
No, it's wrong, but
a battle of Florida next. The Jacksonville Jaguars and their, in my opinion, extremely overpaid quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, going up against another quarterback that is super highly paid, but I don't think he's as overpaid. In Tua, Jaguars, Dolphins in Hard Rock Stadium. Hopefully they've repaired that since the Copa America, where, I don't know if they're going to find any Colombians in the vents or not. I don't know. Hopefully they haven't been there since that long. You're going to be finding skeletons. But Jimbo, Jaguars, Dolphins, who you got and why?
Mommy, what's that smell up there?
Oh! That's lad. Sorry.
I'm gonna go with Miami here. Just like you, I've always thought Trevor Lawrence was overrated. We talked about it, the phrase generational talent last week or whatever it was, and that's what he was labeled as. Yeah, he's not. And to get that much money, I mean that was highway robbery. But just the Dolphins offense just.
Good for him. Good for his agent,
Well, yeah, I mean, good for them. But Dolphins' offense is just too good, and even if the defense is half, just average, I still think they win by a lot. I don't think this game's gonna be close.
Yeah, I put my marker there before you were even done. I was like, yeah, no, I think it's Dolphins. The Trevor Lawrence has got to show massive improvement. I haven't seen that yet. The Dolphins, a lot of people are thinking that they're an AFC East winning team. They think this is their year to kind of make that push to jump up to the upper echelon of the AFC. We'll see if they can do that. But a first step in that is going to be handling business with their in-state rivals. I think they can do that. Again, I think the Jaguars have a very good team. Good defense. Josh Allen there on defense. They have the Jaguars aren't a bad team. I don't know about Trevor Lawrence though, and I think while I don't think the Jaguars are a bad team, I think the Dolphins are a better team. So I'm going with the Dolphins on this one. Speaking of bad teams, Carolina Panthers and the Saints. Jimbo, what you got and why?
I'm looking for a coin. It's this. I know I said I forget which other game I said was going to be a shit game. This is going to be the shit game. It's going to be a boring game to watch. I'm going to go with the Saints on the hope that the Derek Carr that played last year, the 3-4 games that he had 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in, I'm hoping he shows up. And, I mean, Panthers are just the Panthers till they don't panther no more.
So who you got? I'm sorry, I missed that. Who'd you pick?
Saints.
Oh, you're picking the Saints. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking the Saints. They're in New Orleans. They're in the Dome. The Dome is an advantage even if you're a bad team, especially the Superdome. And the Panthers are, as the Saints may not be a great team, the Panthers are worse. And until, listen, I like Bryce Young. I don't want to sit here and call him a bust after 1 year. But the Panthers haven't built around him. They haven't made the team better. They haven't done anything. And at least in my mind. So, I got to go with the Saints on that one. Last game here on the early slate of games, you got the Minnesota Vikings going up against, wearing their beautiful 100th anniversary uniforms, throwing it back. Shut up. I don't want to hear a goddamn word from you. The New York Football Giants. Jimbo, Vikings, Giants, Giant Stadium, opening their 100th NFL season. Who you got and why?
I'm going to go with the New York Canadians.
I will put you down for not a pick if you don't say their name correctly. I swear to Christ.
For this week, I'm going with the Canadians.
I will. You see here. You see your little icon. I won't even put it there. I'm not even going to put it there. Say it. Say it right. Say it right, or don't say it at all.
Eat the dog shit. Eat the dog shit. We'll go with the Giants. Stepbrother reference. The defense, I think, is going to be.
Could be an FSU reference, depending.
Yes, that's true. I think the defense is going to overwhelm Sam Darnold to make him see ghosts again. I think Danny Dimes, as much as I'm always busting on you that he's a bust, this and that, even though I am in the same boat as you. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's going to have a good game. And I just want to see if Neighbors control his attitude when it don't go right. But go with the Giants. Now this game we're doing live, right?
We are doing this game live, so
Okay,
we will be live streaming this game. I am picking the Giants. Surprise! I'm picking the Giants. A lot for the reasons you said. I believe in. I like that defense. I like the defense. I like our defense. I like how we have things set up there. I think we're good on defense. I really do, and I think that's going to be maybe the main focus for the Giants this year is the defense. I'm praying that Daniel Jones is what I have been trying to say he is, what I've been trying to hope that he is, what I've been trying to will him to be. I want him to prove everybody wrong. I want him to be the guy. I really do. And this is it. Yeah. This is the season. It's this or nothing. So I'm hoping he does well. Again, I like our backfield. I like Malik Neighbors. I think that guy is a generational talent. He really is.
Fuck you.
And again, the Vikings have Justin Jefferson. That's not going to be easy. I think that is a problem. And they have Brian Flores on the defense. And say what you want about Brian Flores, he's a very good defensive mind. He's a very good defensive coach. So this isn't going to be a walk in the park, especially for Daniel Jones or that Giants offense,
Yeah.
which, again, they have a lot to prove. All that being said, I can't pick against my boys. I can't pick against my boys. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm picking the Giants as well. That's the early slate that we have the four games. Take a picture, take a screenshot, make it look nice. Hold us accountable if we're wrong. Of course, we'll go over it next week as we take a look at everything. But now, let's finish up with the late game, the afternoon games. I like these. We're starting off divisional matchup. And it's going to be a very pretty one, too. I love both of these uniforms. Raiders, Chargers. Out there at SoFi in LA, it's going to be mostly Raiders fans, so it's really kind of a home game for the Raiders. Jimbo, Raiders, Chargers, who you got and why?
I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm not picking the Chargers because of that 350-pound fullback that they named. But Justin Herbert, they still have Bosa on defense there. I think they have slightly more talent on their team than what the Raiders have right now. I know you're a big Minshew fan. I'm a Minshew fan. But he's not Justin Herbert. And I am curious to see how much better this Raiders defense is with Pierce as a head coach. Because we always see, if a head coach is more known for his defensive mind, their defense is a lot better. Their offense isn't as good, and vice versa. So that I am curious to see how good their defense is, but I'm going with the Chargers.
Listen, I like the Chargers. I like Harbaugh. I like Herbert. But I think that team has a lot of rebuilding, a lot of growing pains to get through here. They don't have a wide receiver, which for Harbaugh is fine. He likes running the ball anyway, which is why they have a defensive lineman as their fullback. And that might help them a lot. And they're going to win games. Something is screaming in the back of my head, though, to pick the Raiders on this one. And again, the Raiders may not be all that great this year overall on record-wise, but for something, just something about this game is telling me, pick the Raiders. Antonio Pierce's first game as coach without the interim tag on him. You got Minshew, there's never been a person more suited to be an Oakland Raider than Gardner Minshew. Whether he's a good quarterback or not, I think he's good enough. Yeah. I'm hesitant, and I think some people might get blinded by the fact that Jim Harbaugh is coaching the Chargers now, and maybe that is enough to push them over the edge. I still think now again, if this game is later on, well, this game will be later on in the season because it's divisional rivals. But like if this game, you put this game or any game with the Chargers a couple months from now, I'm probably picking the Chargers. I think by then maybe some of the growing pains are gone. They're hitting their stride. Maybe they are a better team. But for right now, opening game, I'm going to go with the Vegas Raiders. I'm going with the Raiders. I almost called them the Oakland Raiders. Almost did it. It should be Oakland versus San Diego here. But, I'm just an old man yelling at clouds. What are you going to do? The Broncos make a trip up to Seattle. Bo Nix making his first NFL start against the throwback-wearing Seattle Seahawks, which is why I put that graphic. Oh, God, it's so good. It's such a good looking uniform. They should definitely go back to some version of that. But the Seahawks, Geno Smith still up there cooking. First year without, Pete Carroll in 12 years, 14 years, something like that. It's a ridiculous amount of time that he was a coach up there. So they're kind of new coach, new system, new everything up there in Seattle. Jimbo, Broncos, and Sean Payton and Bo Nix in his first start against the Seahawks and Geno Smith and his rookie head coach. Who you got and why?
I think I'm going to go with Seattle. This is another close call for me because, yes, you got Sean Payton coaching the Broncos, but a rookie quarterback. So how much on the same page are those two? Seattle, you got Geno Smith, you got Metcalf up there. You got a lot of the same players that have been there for a few years. Yes, granted, it's a new head coach, but I think that chemistry is still a little bit better in Seattle than what it is in Denver. So I think Seattle's going to pull it out, but I think it's going to be a close game. I'll even say about 3 to 5 point difference.
Oh. Ooh. Oh. I'm going to tell you what. Screw it. I'm going Denver. I'm going to go Bo Nix. In Bo we trust. Be a Bo lever.
Leave.
I thought there was another inappropriate way to say his name, but whatever. I'll leave it alone for now. Yeah, I'm going to go with Denver. It again, one of those weird feeling games. Just one of those things where it feels like should be Seahawks, but it's, they have this new coach. They have this whole new thing up there. Gino is good,
Yeah.
but that, like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how to read Seattle. The Broncos, again, I think Nix is good. I see him a lot in, like, that Caleb Williams started. Like, he's going to be good. He's going to make some rookie mistakes. He's going to make some dumb decisions. But tough one. But I'm going with the Broncos. That's my reason. I feel like it. That's my reasons. Listen, I don't need to explain to you what I'm doing. Actually, I do. That's why we have a show. We sit here and explain what we're doing. But for this one, I don't know what to tell you. It's the guts. It's my big, fat, ugly gut. That's just what I have a feeling about it. Broncos. Okay, next game. Tom Brady's first game ever. We're going to be live streaming this one too. Well, I'll be whether you want to or not. I might do it. We'll see. We'll see how we feel. I have it up there. Plans may change. Subject to change. Everybody. Cowboys against the Browns. Dak Prescott doesn't have a contract as of this recording, but they did sign CeeDee Lamb. Cowboys didn't really kind of go all in this offseason like they said they were going to. You got the Browns. Now, apparently, they did try to make the move for Ayuk. That came out that they offered a second, third rounder, and Amari Cooper. Does Amari Cooper does he feel disrespected? Does he have a chip on his shoulder now because of this? Is there, we don't know. But Cowboys at Cleveland by the mistake on the lake. Jimbo, who you got and why?
I'm going to go with the Browns. And I would like to think, I was going to say I have a feeling, but I would like to think the Houston Texan Deshaun Watson shows up here. And Dallas just has so much drama going on. I don't think they're going to have a run game. Zeke is like 5 years past his prime. Dalvin Cook he's a good third down back by this point in his career, so he's not a first stringer. And then, I know you try to explain how you took Dak's comments about Jerry Jones and not listen to him, but I think there's a big disconnect between him and that front office. So I think it's gonna start showing, and I think Mike McCarthy is gonna be on a hot seat sooner than later. So I'm going with the Browns.
I'm going with the Browns as well. Listen, I think Dallas. I'm not saying Dallas is going to be a bad team. I'm not saying they're going to miss the playoffs. Although in my NFC East prediction, I kind of said they were going to be a bad team and they were going to miss the playoffs. But they could very easily be a good team. They very might well be. But no matter how you feel about the Cowboys, whether you think they're going to be a great team, whether you think they're going to be a bad team, whether you think they're going to be middle of the road, whatever the case is, they're not going to win every game of this season. They're not.
Yeah.
And I know some people might think they are, but those are delusional Cowboy fans, and we don't listen to them. So I'm going with the Browns. They're at home. This feels like a big game for the Browns, a big statement game for the Browns. If Texans Deshaun Watson shows up, if pre-sexual assault Deshaun Watson shows up, then I think the Browns will be fine. If we're dealing with going to jail Deshaun Watson, I don't know, but he's got to stay healthy. But that Browns defense, they have the offensive weapons. Like, it just, I think you're right. I think it's the Browns on this one. So both me and you agree it is the Browns. Next, we have another rookie quarterback. A lot of rookie quarterbacks this year. You have the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders and their new quarterback, Trey Lance. Not Trey Lance. What am I thinking? Jaden Daniels. Oh, we were talking about Trey Lance a while ago, and it popped in my head. Yeah, no. Fuck Trey Lance. He's terrible. And he's on the Cowboys too. And he's so bad, he's their third-string quarterback. But yes, Jaden Daniels there. Washington football team. Redskin Commanders. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield. He got paid. That is his team now. Mike Evans is there. He's a Buck for life. The Buccaneers made a surprising run into the playoffs last year. Almost made it to the NFC Championship game. Gave the Lions all they could handle in Detroit. Destroyed the Eagles in the wild card game, which granted the Eagles at the end of the year, that wasn't that hard of a deal. I'm not even saying that just to be an asshole to you. I'm just saying.
No, I agree.
But interesting game to start off the season. Washington, Tampa Bay. Jimbo, who you got?
I'm going Buccaneers. Even though I think Jaden Daniels is going to be an exciting quarterback to watch this year, he is a rookie quarterback. Not rookie coach, but a new head coach. Buccaneers got, Baker, like you said, Mike Evans, Goodwin's in there. All that chemistry still there as long as Todd Bowles pays attention to who he's playing, not the Redskins, playing the Commanders. But I think this game
he did seem a little confused. He thought it was still like 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this game is going to be not close.
See, that's where me and you differ. I think this game is actually going to be close. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what people think. I think this is actually going to be a very good game to watch. I still think the Buccaneers pull out the win, but I think this is actually going to be a pretty decent game to watch. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a lot more NFL ready than some people think. Washington still has a ton of problems to get over, but I like Dan Quinn as a coach. He's a breath of fresh air that organization needed. Whether he's one that can bring them to the Super Bowl or not, I don't know. But he has a history of, taking over a franchise that might not be the best or going through problems and kind of rebuilding it. He did that with the Falcons, brought them to a Super Bowl. Falcon fans would prefer you stop talking about it at that point. But I'm not saying he's going to bring Washington to the Super Bowl, but I think Washington's going to be better than people think this year. Well, some people think they're going to be good. Some people are even picking them to make the playoffs. That's tap the brakes on that. But I think they're kind of like the Giants last year. They'll win 6 games. 5-6 games, somewhere around there. I have them winning 5. They could easily win 6 or even 7. Which I think for anybody really looking at it, that's a lot more than what you would think that Washington would be able to win. So Buccaneers win. I think Washington and Jaden Daniels look very good, though. Sunday night. It's a playoff rematch, Jimbo. Matthew Stafford coming back home to Detroit like he did last year in the playoffs. Bringing his Rams. Going against the Lions. Wearing their brand new... Listen, it's opening night. You should wear the brand new uniforms you have. But instead, they're wearing the brand new alternate uniforms they have. Like, they didn't even wear their regular uniforms yet. Yeah. Be that as it may, the Lions are wearing their alternate uniforms there to open up the season in Detroit. Sunday night football. A lot of expectations there in Detroit. I think the Rams are going to be a lot better than people were thinking they were going to be, or were hoping they were going to be, or whatever the case is. I know I didn't think the Rams were going to be that great when the offseason began. Now we're going into the season. I'm like, the Rams could be challenging San Francisco for the division. I don't know. But Jimbo, Rams versus Lions, Sunday night football. We'll be watching this one. Who you got and why?
I'm going with the Lions. And this is a tough one to pick again, too, because they're both, like you said, they're both very good teams. I know you have questions about the Lions possibly having a step back, but I think they actually take a step forward. I think that playoff loss matured them a little bit more, and I think it's going to show in this game. The only thing I'm curious about is, does Dan Campbell stay as aggressive as he's been in the past couple of years with some of his calls, or did he learn his lesson as well as like maybe I should pick and choose when to be aggressive, not just be aggressive to be aggressive. So, but I'm going with the Lions.
Aggressive. Aggressive.
Aggressive.
Aggressive. Aggressive. I think Dan Campbell, as far as that goes, I think I think that's something where he might have worked on it in the offseason, kind of taken a step back and been like, hey, you know what? Let's when we go for it on a 2-point conversion and the refs screw us over and we don't make it, let's just maybe not do that and keep on just going over and over and over and over again. So, hi, honey. Wife's home.
My fiance.
So, I think as far as that goes, yes. Will the Lions have that kind of fallback? Maybe. It's a possibility. I've seen it happen. I mean, everybody has seen it happen with many teams where they have success. They have a great successful season. They look really good, and the next season, you hope it doesn't happen with the Lions. I hope it doesn't happen with the Lions. Dan Campbell is a very good coach as far as that, and it seems to be somebody that wouldn't allow that to happen. All that being said, I think the Rams are they're a very good team. They're a very good team. The question is, how does that defense look without Aaron Donald? I think that's everybody's question.
Yeah.
Is that defense still going to be able to do what they can do, what they did with Aaron Donald, without Aaron Donald? I think that's going to be because Matthew Stafford is still great. You got Cooper Kupp still there. You still got Puka Nacua. Like you have the weapons. You have the team, and the Rams are definitely not going to be a slouch. And again, the Rams and Lions. The Rams gave the Lions everything they could in the playoff game that they played there in Detroit. So I don't think Stafford loses again. In Detroit. I'm going to go with Detroit. With Los Angeles. I'm picking the Rams. Okay. I think they beat Detroit in Detroit to open up the night. Spoil the party. Kind of like how the Lions spoiled the Chiefs party last year. I think this is the Rams kind of returning that favor. Again, I think it's just a speed bump maybe for the Lions. Or could it be the signs of something else? I don't know. We'll see how the game plays out. But I'll pick the Rams on that one. Jimbo! I said that very loudly. I don't know why. Monday night. The return of Achilles himself. The ayahuasca assassin. Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets make a trip all the way to hell out to Santa Clara, which is like 68 miles away from San Francisco, nowhere near it. So maybe nobody will get shot. We'll see. They are playing the 49ers, who will be without their rookie receiver because he got shot in San Francisco after a signing event. That's just wonderful. San Francisco. No wonder the Niners moved to Santa Clara. Against Brock Purdy, against the 49ers, they have Ayuk. They have Trent Williams. They have, obviously, everybody else, Debo, CMC. You got Bosa there on the defensive side of the ball. Niners look just as good, reloaded from last year. NFC favorite last year. You ask anybody else, they're pretty much the NFC favorite this year. A lot of people think it's going to be Kansas City and the 49ers again in the Super Bowl. Jimbo, Jets, 49ers, Monday Night Football, which we will be doing live right here on the channel. Who you got and why?
The asshole part of me wants to take the Jets because Brock Purdy is average, but Brock Purdy has weapons, and that's what makes him slightly better than average. So I'm going to go with the Niners. I think there's too many questions with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, can he stay healthy during this game? Is that Achilles going to hold up? And I know you don't think Riddick is going to be. It's not going to show that he's a presence, but that defense.
He can't show himself a presence. He's not there.
Well, what I mean is like the defense is going to be good, but it's not going to be as good as what you think. because they lost their star pass rusher, and that's why they traded for Riddick. And I think that's going to show. Their run defense will be there. Their cornerbacks are good, but if you got no pressure on the quarterback, that he could just sit back there, and eventually wide receivers are going to get open. So it's still going to be a good game, but I'm going with the Niners and average Purdy.
Everything about this game, you're an asshole, by the way. Everything about this game says it seems like I should pick the 49ers. It really does. By the way, if you notice, you just went all home.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
On the late games. Late game, you are homeboy. You are straight up homie. I like everything says you should pick the Niners. You know, they just got everybody back in there. Everybody's fully paid. Everybody's happy. Everybody's well rested. It kind of seems like that. But something's you have Aaron Rodgers who has a chip on his shoulder. You have and again, you want to talk about the Niners have offensive weapons, the Jets have offensive weapons too. The Jets have a lot of offensive weapons, and their defense, even without Riddick, is formidable, especially their pass defense. I think their pass defense is one of the best in the league. I think even without Riddick, their front seven is one of the best in the league. Everybody forgets you still got Quincy there, baby. You know, the guy shares my middle name. How am I going to hate that guy? Like, it just seemed like and again, it's the Niners. They're opening up on the road against the Niners, but I think that might actually help being on the road away from New York media a little bit, being away from the home crowd. Like, he doesn't have to run out with the American flag on September 11th. It's not all this kind of pomp and circumstance. It's not all this other stuff. It's just kind of like, we're on the road. We're getting booed. Nobody cares about us here. Let's go out. And it just seems like the Jets might seem to have that chip on their shoulder of just like, we were supposed to be great last year, and just one unfortunate accident 4 plays into the season destroyed our season.
Yeah.
We have something to prove. And it just feels like everybody on that team has got a chip on their shoulder. Seems like everybody on that team's got an attitude that might explain why Joe Douglas and Hassan Reddick are the way they are. It just seems like everybody's just kind of like, everybody in that Jets organization is just kind of like, you. Like, they're done, they're tired, they're fed up, and they want to go out there and hurt somebody. Not just hit somebody. Yeah. They want to hurt somebody when they go out there. It feels Jets to me. And that's something I never thought I'd say in my life, because they're the goddamn Jets.
Yeah.
And Lord knows, being the Jets, something's going to happen to them this season that just ruins everything. I'm betting that it won't be week 1 this time. But let's not forget, they won that game against the Bills in week 1. Even when Aaron Rodgers was out in 4 plays, they won. So
who was the quarterback? Who was the quarterback, by the way?
Zach Wilson.
MVP Zach Wilson. Should have won it last year.
I have to do it in Denver now. Starting off as the emergency quarterback. We'll see. When what's his name? Stidham. When Jarrett Stidham is considered to be a better quarterback than you are, it's time to take pause and reflect. So there's our late games, including Monday Night Football there for everybody. Jimbo just went straight party ticket there. He went all home teams on that one. So that is hey, Jimbo.
I did not plan it that way either.
No, you just rattled them off and you're just like, going home team. Variety is the spice of life, Jimbo. You gotta throw some variety in there. So anyway, coming up later today will be the Eagles and Packers Brazil game that we will be going ahead to go into. Time to go to bed. We will be broadcasting not the game, but we will be doing our own play-by-play and reactions to the game. Come along and watch. Thank you so much for following along here. You can follow along with our picks all season long. See how everybody does. We'll see. Join our Discord. You can do that down in the comments. We got some links down there. You're going to like it. Trust me. All the other links are down there too. Donation station, merch store, QR codes, links, all that great stuff. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. For your good friend Jimbo, I'm your boy King. Enjoy the first full weekend of NFL football, everybody. Adios.